Whether you are speaking with friends or in public, the principle is the same. Control of as much of the situation as you can so that you don't lose focus. It is important for anyone in any situation, is 10 times more important for the stroke survivor. This is a logical extension of one of my earlier videos about learning to speak again, episode 5, How I Learned to Speak Again. Just a reminder that after my stroke, I couldn't speak at all. Also, it is one thing to speak amongst friends and family, and totally another to speak in front of an audience full of strangers who are broadcasting your words. And in the eyes of a stroke survivor, your fumbles and inadequacies for all the world to see. My purpose is to inspire you that even this can be achieved, can be done eventually. Maybe it's not as good as it would have been, but at least you can do it. Again, all hope is not lost. All hope is not lost. Since my stroke, I hate having to ask a question in public. I avoid making public comments. I used to relish public speaking. I made a living from it. Stress brings out the stroke in me. And I bet it brings out the stroke in you. If you have had a stroke, I think you know what I mean. Becoming the center of attention, the focus for others, is the last thing the post-stroke me wants. All the things I work so hard to control normally get exposed when I feel pressure. Things like emotional hypersensitivity are increased tenfold. The spasticity of the right side of my body suddenly increases, and my bearings start to get confused. Confusion can set in. It is terribly unnerving for the stroke survivor. One thing you know is that your body's going to contort more during the speech, and you're trying desperately to control your body. You won't be aware of your tenseness and spasticity until it is on full display for all to see. Sometimes, though, you have no choice. Recently, I felt confident enough to involve myself in a committee of the HOA of my community to argue for controlled development around our community. There was a mall, and it's being redeveloped, and we were fine with the non-residential portion. In other words, the commercial portion, we were fine with it. But we felt they were overly aggressive in the residential portion. Anyway, I felt I had to get involved. It was so important. Working on the committee meant eventually having to argue to scale it back a bit in a public setting. I gave 2 speeches to that end. Both speeches were recorded in a public committee meeting or setting. One speech to the Planning Committee of Sarasota County and a subsequent one to the County Commissioners. I have 5 minutes for each speech, and they were not hesitating to cut people that were long-winded off. You had 5 minutes. In the old days, if someone had said, "Time's up," I had the ability and the quickness of thinking on my feet to answer coherently, while still getting my points across in the confusion of the moment. Not after my stroke. I was not sure and confident, so I took the coward's way out. I just ended my speeches just before. I timed them, did word counts, and then basically 4 minutes and 45 seconds or 5 minutes exactly, it was over. Should I admit to my fellow presenters, by the way, and to my audience, to whom the speeches are directed, hey, I have had a stroke, so give me a minute or 2 extra, because stroke survivors, on the whole, speak slower than they used to. But I thought maybe that would increase my tension, and I didn't want to increase the tension. By the way, please like and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and I hope to get recognized by the YouTube algorithm. Now on with the video. Notice, by the way, when I got up, I paused walking there to the podium because we were there for hours already and my foot seized up a little. So I just paused and stretched it and looked like I was reading my papers so that I could get up to the podium reasonably, not under tremendous stress, shall we say.
Hell, minnow. Hell, minnow.
My name is Richard Palomino, a resident of Deer Creek. My question is, why does Sarasota County bother to pay for a citizen survey, considering citizens are the last people the Planning Committee and Commissioners listen to? I quote from your own website. Sarasota County conducts an annual citizen survey that asks county residents to rank how important quality of life issues. The value of asking such questions is that they give citizens a voice in county policy, choices that affect their lives, which in turn bolsters their trust in government. End of quote. 2019, the number one issue. If you haven't seen the citizen survey, you should look at it. The number one issue the public named was, there are no serious problems in Sarasota County. Great. Changes in 2020. the number one issue changed and became population growth, new development. Read things like congestion, traffic jams, trash on the side of the road. You get the picture. In 2021, number one concern remained population growth and new development. 2022, surprise, surprise. Population growth, new development. 2023, 25% of respondents said the number one issue is population growth and new development.
Again, that was part of the planning committee speech. I only wanted to make the point with this video that you will have to work harder at controlling any situation, and I gave a concrete example whereby I was able to maintain sort of my cool. Once you let emotions get out of hand, mental confusion occurs. Again, whether you are speaking with friends or in public, the principle is the same. Control of as much of the situation as you can so that you don't lose focus. It is important for anyone in any situation, is 10 times more important for the stroke survivor. As you can see, I did not do badly, but it is 20 years after the stroke, and I worked for it diligently all these years. I still show signs that I'm a stroke survivor. And in a certain sense, I'm sort of proud of it. It was one of those things where you have to say, it is a small victory in the grand scheme of things, but it's a victory nonetheless. Relish those moments and take a renewed hope. As a stroke survivor, you learn to take anything positive from situations. Remain positive. With that, I leave you with the message, don't give in to stroke.